Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.
Start your morning right.
I'm April Martinez.
And I'm Paul Lopez.
And good morning, Belize. Thank you so much for joining us on this blessed Monday. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. It's Monday, all things considered, April 8th.
April 8th already.
1 week into April.
Like nothing.
I feel good. How about you?
Good? I'm feeling good as well. I feel like the days are just moving really quickly, and I think it's because I have too many deadlines, but that's usually the case.
Deadlines
right?
are all a part of life, right?
Yes, Paul, but it was a very eventful week and weekend. I believe last week was very short. This week is another full week. This weekend, I believe that there are so many events happening throughout the country. I attended a couple of them this weekend. I attended the Maya Day at the University of Belize last week, Wednesday, I believe. And simultaneously, the Sunday, yesterday, there was the bigger Maya Day celebration. This normally takes place in March, but for unforeseen circumstances, it had to be pushed into April.
So what's Maya Day and what happens at Maya Day?
Maya Day is a celebration of the Maya cultural experience in Belize. So all groups from across the country gather at Blue Creek at the Tumulkin Learning Center, and they celebrate their culture through music, dance, language. What I really like is that majority of the ceremony is translated in Quechua Maya. So there are the motivational speakers that come on, they give their speech, and then there's somebody that is translating for those that can't speak English or Spanish, really.
Okay.
I think we take for granted that it's either English or Spanish here in Belize. And so it was really nice to see that somebody else is taking the mantle to talk to the people who the day is for.
That's what you hear. What do you see at Maya Day?
Oh, I ate a lot of food yesterday.
Yeah.
No, honestly, it's, like I said, it's a celebration of culture. So there's dancing, not just the deer dance that we see, but there's several other dances as well. There's the playing of the harp, the marimba. There are different competitions that are kind of keen to Maya culture. Have you ever tried to cut a snail with a machete?
Cut a snail with a machete? I've never tried to cut a snail, period.
Yeah, so there is something called a hute cutting contest. There is the Jipa Japa braiding contest, so braid the palms and stuff like that. So there's several things that they've been doing to just keep the culture alive, not just music and dance, but these different techniques. I believe there was a tortilla making contest for men. And there was also we talk about things like making rice and so forth, and there was this competition for mashing the rice to full, like to a point where it's really coarse. And that's how you do, I don't know if you like horchata, but that's kind of how you have to do the process of horchata, right? So there's so many different components that went into this experience in Tumulkin and so on. You had caldo eating competition for both Maya and non-Maya persons. It was very interesting to see. And then of course the students at the University of Belize also held their Maya Day as well. They have an association, and so the students from Inon Lao at UB, they came together along with the Culture and Language Institute to formulate their own commemoration for Maya Day, because the students are at UB.
And this is all about celebrating Maya
culture in Belize. And so that particular day of events, you had a pottery making workshop, caldo making workshop, the marimba. There was a leadership forum that was given by Dr. Angel Cal, who is a prominent academic and a Maya scholar here in Belize. So there are so many different elements to the day that I just wanted to bring up because I think sometimes we kind of take for granted that this is a part of our history. These people, we talk about them, we talk about all ethnic groups in Belize, but we don't really celebrate them, I think, as we should. One of the best parts about Maya Day yesterday is that even though it was all the way at Blue Creek, all the way into Mulkin at the far reaches of PG, there were so many Belize City license plates.
Okay.
There were a lot of people from Belize City that went. There were a lot of people from Orange Walk and Corazal that were there. So it wasn't just for Maya
For
people.
those who may not be aware, where's Tumulkin?
Tumulkin Learning Center is in Blue Creek Village
There you
in
go.
PG, all the way in the south. So right before you start to hit the curve for God San Antonio, you take a left.
Okay. I wouldn't know it unless I go myself.
I had invited you to come.
You know, April, one of the things that some might say is synonymous with Maya culture, or at least to an extent, there is a belief system that exists within the Maya culture around eclipse and eclipses. Isn't that the case?
It is the case. Ancient Maya were amazing astronomers.
They had advanced mathematics and advanced technology
predicted eclipses.
to their day and age. They predicted eclipses.
They predicted eclipses, yes.
And today, actually, we're expecting total solar eclipse.
So,
and later this morning, there'll be an eclipse. It will be visible for the most part across North America. For some in the media, it is being dubbed the Great North American Eclipse. Would you believe that?
Yes.
And so a solar eclipse is basically occurs when the moon passes between the earth and the sun, thereby obscuring the sun from viewers on the earth. So the moon passes in front of the sun.
Yeah.
So the question that many Belizeans want to know is, what can they expect today? What can they expect? Well, before we even get into a discussion on it, we heard from Ronald Gordon,
Yes.
the Chief Met Officer, who we had a conversation with about the eclipse, and he basically explained for us what it is that Belizeans can expect from this great North American solar eclipse. And so we have that bite from Mr. Gordon, and here's what he informed us.
Eclipse that is expected to, or that will occur actually on Monday, the 8th of April. Belize is not within the path of totality, which means that we are not going to experience a total solar eclipse. However, we are going to see a partial solar eclipse. From what I'm seeing, we are going to be about 40% of occlusion, which means that about 40% of the sun will be covered by the moon. And that indicate that it will not be very dark. You may recall that we had an annular solar eclipse in October of last year, and that was an eclipse in which the moon basically was within the entire part of entire coverage of the sun, but there was that ring around it, because at that point the distance between the moon and the earth was not close enough for it to entirely cover the sun. So it's not a total eclipse, but rather described as an annular solar eclipse. In this case, there will be even less coverage. In other words, there will be even less blockage of the sun. So it will not even be as dark as it was for that eclipse that we saw last year. Now, in terms of timing, the information that I have is that it will be starting around about 80 minutes after 11 here, local time. The maximum coverage will be about 12:31, and by about 1:45 or so, more or less, it will be all clear. Weather conditions currently, although it's a bit far away, indicate that we'll be under an easterly flow. There's a possibility of isolated showers and the possibility of some cloudiness. We cannot tell for sure if at that particular time it will be cloudy or not. It's not possible to say that. But if it is not cloudy, and you're able to look at the sun, which we advise you to do with specialized sunshades, you will maybe see that there's an obstruction between the Earth and the sun. You'll see the shadow of the moon, basically, not the shadow, but the actual moon obscuring part of the sun if you look up. If you are not able to look up with those specialized sunshades, you may not even know that there's something covering the sun. It may look like a cloud or something, or it might be the level of darkness will not be that significant for you to know that there's an eclipse occurring. That's what we expect it to look like at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if you have anything to add to that. That's pretty clear.
Yes.
He gives us the time in terms of when it is expected in Belize, the time when we expect to be in the all clear. The fact that we'll only see 40% in terms of coverage, because remember, this is the Great North American solar eclipse, as it is being dubbed by some media houses.
What I will appreciate is that he is advising us that even though we're not going to see the entire total eclipse, don't look up unless you have specialized sunglasses. Just because, I mean, in general, until you're looking at it in the first place, right? So don't look up if you are not well equipped.
And you know, I know that there's people asking, well, what's so special about this eclipse? We see eclipse often. Well, the thing is, yes, we actually, there was in 2017, I believe, in 2019.
I don't count those as often.
Well, the thing is, what you have to understand, and this is just my quick word in here, is that according to studies, an eclipse only passes over a specific location in totality every 300 years. If it's in the northern hemisphere, it's 300 years. If it's in the southern hemisphere, it's 500 years over a specific location. And so it's been some time since it's passed over this specific location in North America.
Wonderful, Paul. Well, wherever you are, if you are here in Belize or in the diaspora, you can tune into that special North Pacific eclipse that will take place over the U.S., Canada, Mexico, and Belize around a little bit after 11 o'clock this morning. But Paul, it is Monday, and even though we've been talking about what's buzzing, we do bring forth to you every Monday the Eye on the News.
And so we want to start, April, with the recent cabinet shuffle that the Prime Minister's office announced. And along with this cabinet shuffle came the reinstatement of Minister Andre Perez to the Ministry of Blue Economy. Now we know that Minister Andre Perez was suspended. I see that's the term being used right now, but at that time it was really termed as he was granted a leave of absence that he seemed to have requested. But now the term being used is suspended. But that's just a nuance. It's semantics. And so that leave of absence or that suspension was granted in light of certain allegations that were raised against Minister Andre Perez of a sexual nature. And in light of those allegations, he received the leave of absence or suspension, and the Prime Minister committed to have an investigation done into those allegations, and by none other than the Office of the Attorney General, if not the Attorney General himself. Now, this was in August of 2023. We are 8 months later. We have been asking, I think initially we pressed a lot from the Prime Minister and anybody we could really get an audience with to find out what it is that this investigation is revealing, if anything at all, through August, through September, through October, I forget my months of the year and all, November, December, leading up to the end of the month, end of the year, sorry. And now we are here 8 months later, and I am not sure that we have gotten a definitive answer in terms of what that investigation from the Attorney General's office revealed. So, like Belizeans would ask, did this just blow over like a lee breeze, you know, or did they just sweep it under the carpet, as Belizeans would ask? And so it came as a bit of a surprise to some that in the announcement of a cabinet shuffle, or more so an adjustment where several several elected area representatives were appointed or assigned Minister of State positions within the cabinet, that Minister Andre Perez was kind of, his reinstatement was lumped up in that.
Yeah.
It came as a surprise to some.
Yeah.
And so I think we asked Minister Musa last week about it, and he indicated that he believes the Attorney General did in fact investigate the allegations brought against Minister Andre Perez. However, on Friday, we sat down with Minister Fonseca, who is the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Minister of Education, and he sort of gave a clearer answer, per se, on whether or not an investigation was held. And we want to play that bite with Minister Fonseca, and then we can have a bit of discussion on that.
We have to operate on the basis of, facts, and we have to operate on the basis of a record. We can't operate on the basis of social media, reacting to social media. I think, these matters have been, I think, fully ventilated. I have not heard anything new, any new material on this matter.
Can you say, Minister Fonseca, if in the process of the ventilation, if the full ventilation you spoke of this matter, whether the Attorney General's ministry was consulted, what input they had in it, in the investigation?
Yeah, I think, yes, we discussed this in Cabinet, so I don't want to get into what we discussed, but yes, the answer is yes. The Attorney General's ministry was involved and engaged, and provided advice. This is confidential advice to the Prime Minister and to the Cabinet. So they were involved in that process, and I think that's advice that fed into the Prime Minister's decision to have Minister Perez return. All decisions about Cabinet posts are solely matters for the Prime Minister, but I certainly fully support the decision of the Prime Minister. I think Minister Perez was, suspended from the Cabinet for a significant period of time, and I think we all feel that it's appropriate at this time for him to return to Cabinet. He was, in my view, a very effective minister before all of the issue arose, and I think he will once again be an effective minister of the blue economy.
And
So
Paul,
April,
we are back.
I'd like to hear your thoughts on that.
You know what I think it's really weird is that you're right. We didn't hear about this case for quite some time, but it's not just us as the media that we weren't reporting on it. Usually when we have these types of cases, we would hear from both parties, right? We didn't hear anything from Ms. Wende Oxalu. We didn't hear anything from Minister Perez for the entire time. I think up until the municipals when we caught Minister Perez for a brief moment. And in the wake of all of this, I was thinking about how vocal Ms. Oxalu was at the very beginning. She took it on her social media platform to voice the opinions, to talk about the allegations and so forth. And kind of just went dormant after a period of time. And it wasn't until his reinstatement
that she reemerged.
that we hear from her again. And so you're right, I'm trying to figure out what was happening behind closed doors all this time. Was she not being informed of some of these decisions and so on? In my honest opinion, Paul, and this is just me looking at this and others that we have covered on the media, the talks about sexual misconducts is no stranger to any politician at all. Not in any side of the aisle, right? What made this case difficult to talk about was the fact that Ms. Oxley talked about being threatened, her life was in danger, and so forth. That's what made it, come to light with us in the media. When it came to whatever happened between two people behind closed doors, I don't think we have been crucifying these other politicians in the same way other politicians have not been suspended. From what I know, please correct me if I am wrong, with certain cases like this, you normally, they decide behind closed doors what's going to happen, and it kind of just goes into the dark, and we see them again out and about doing their job. So in Minister Perez's case, where he took his leave of absence or suspension, I think that the party was trying really hard to decide what to do next. And I also have strong opinions about a lot of different ministers taking on so many portfolios, because I believe it was Prime Minister Briceño that took on Minister Perez's portfolio after.
Civil aviation.
And now he kept civil aviation.
He kept
I
civil
believe.
aviation,
Right?
I
So
believe, yeah.
it's personally, if you have so many different portfolios taking on a job and you have somebody there that can be reinstated, you give that person its day. What I would like to see are the results of the settlement. I want to know, how is it that he was being reinstated, under what premises, why did they decide yes, and now why all of a sudden is Ms. Oxley coming out with new allegations?
The challenge here, and we'll end on this note, is that no formal reports have been made, and this is just from the standpoint of facts. No formal reports have been made, and without formal reports, though there are allegations surfacing on social media, the Attorney General, these ministers, the police department, the Commissioner of Police is hesitant to act on social media allegations.
Yeah.
And so we will leave that there until
we have all of the information.
until there's more information made available. But secondly, we want to touch, just staying on politics, and John Saldivar, former Air Representative for Belmopan, once again finds himself in a battle to keep his head above water in the United Democratic Party. I mean, it's a sad situation in the United Democratic Party after John Saldivar, Danny Grijalva, Air Representative Patrick Farber et al. Boycotted the recent UDP-NPC meeting to hold their own meeting. The party's central executive reportedly took a vote to remove Saldivar and Grijalva as standard bearers. Now we have a couple screenshots. One of the initial vote taken by the central executive, in which they voted on a resolution to remove Saldivar and Grijalva as standard bearers from the UDP standard bearers, basically, citing several concerns. One being, like I said, we have some screenshots we'll show as we discuss. One being, one of those situations being that they were, not only is it that they did not show progress in their respective areas in terms of losing several times and then afterwards not showing significant progress in building and garnering trust among the constituents, but also that they were engaged in matters that were against the party, or that they were engaged in matters against the party. So that was the central executive motion that that the leader of the opposition, well, that's the central executive motion that took place a couple weeks back, and following that, it was announced that on April 10th, which is this Wednesday, then this is where Saldivar's head is basically, he is trying to keep his head above water. So then thereafter, so that this Wednesday, the NPC will vote on that motion as to whether or not they keep Saldivar and Mr. Grijalva in the party as standard bearers. So John Saldivar then writes to the chairman. So Saldivar has written to the chairman on several occasions following the motion. I believe we have the latest correspondence from Saldivar, the chairman Michael Perifit. And in his letter to Chairman Michael Perifit, Saldivar says basically, in essence, that the central executive doesn't have the power and the authority to remove standard bearers or to vote on these sort of motions. He referred to the motion as illegal. He referred to the motion as ill-advised. This is someone that's really working hard to maintain his position as standard bearer after being voted in a convention, the UDP convention, that to be the standard bearer for Belmopan, right? Yeah. And Perifit responded saying, we could write back and forth to each other all we want till thy kingdom come. At the end of the day, it is the NPC that decides, determines the scope of certain legislation within the United Democratic Parties or regulations within the United Democratic Party's constitution, and it is them that will ultimately decide the fate of John Saldivar and Mr. Grijalva on Wednesday. But then here comes another tidbit that secures the seat of Moses Shine Barrow, the leader of the opposition, because this morning we received further information to suggest that the NPC has backed a motion that was agreed upon last year, I believe in August of last year, that stated that Moses Shine Barrow will remain the leader of the United Democratic Party until the next general elections. That's correct. So he will remain the leader of the UDP until the next general election. Excuse me. That is to say that all these extracurricular activities by way of boycotting meetings, by way of holding side meetings, that is to say that the leader of the opposition has a shield, has a shield by way of the NPC, by way of that motion, and so any attempts to oust him may not work.
Yeah. Paul, I'm looking forward to see what will happen on the 10th.
Yeah.
I think that, in all fairness, when we're thinking about things like elections and conventions that have the vote of the people, it makes me wonder why we have this fallback setting of the NPC and so forth make certain decisions to decide certain fates. It has to be on the premises of some serious allegations and so forth against a person. But we'll find out more on April 10th, yes?
Wednesday, yeah.
And Paul, if that does it, I believe that we have one more topic of discussion for Eye on the News, and it has to do with a cycling incident.
Yeah, well, it wasn't necessarily a cycling incident. It was unfortunate loss of life by way of a murder. Another tragic murder, another tragic loss of life. Young man by the name of Mr. Banks, well known to the cycling community. Reports came in over the weekend that he was murdered, shot to death, fatally shot in a vehicle over the weekend. And this sent shockwaves through the community, cycling community specifically, because he was known as a cycling enthusiast. He was known as somebody who contributed significantly to the sport. He was known as a humble, quiet individual. So to see that he lost his life in this manner was heartbreaking. And so on Sunday, the cycling community gathered together and they held a ride in honor of Mr. Banks, Mr. Banks's brother, I believe, as well, and another individual, because Mr. Banks, this individual, he lost his brother a year ago, if not a bit more, while on the road following a race. They basically got into an accident, and so a ride was held on Wednesday, basically a ride for peace.
Yeah.
A ride to end violence and a ride to restore peace and justice within the basically Belize City and surrounding communities. We know that one individual has been charged for the murder of Mr. Banks. I believe we have that name.
So the ride was yesterday, Sunday, April 7th, and it really was just to bring forth awareness against gun violence in the country. We see these types of incidents happening so often, Paul, and this kind of brotherhood, this community effort to come out and bring awareness to this particular incident. It showcases Mr. Banks's life in a nutshell, what he did for his community, what he meant for the cycling community, and so on. So we do send our condolences to the Banks family.
All right, and so that individual is Mr. Chrismar Espinosa, and he is the one that has been charged for the murder of Mr. Wilbert Banks. We've shown it on the screen already. I just had to pull it up to get the name of the individual, Mr. Chrismar Espinosa. But with that does it for our Eye on the News this morning. Thank you for staying attentive and for engaging in this discussion. You can catch these stories and more tonight in our 6 p.m. newscast on Facebook as well as on your televisions. Thank you so much.
Moving on with our show for this morning, we have a weather update from the Belize Meteorological Service.
Good morning. Generally fair and warm conditions prevail. The 24-hour forecast. Cloudy spells today with a few showers and isolated thunderstorms occurring mostly over the southern districts this morning, and then isolated showers elsewhere. For tonight, skies will be clear to partly cloudy, with isolated showers developing, if any. High temperatures for today will reach around 87 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 93 degrees Fahrenheit inland, and 79 degrees Fahrenheit in the mountains. Low temperatures for tonight will reach around 81 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 72 degrees Fahrenheit inland, and 66 degrees Fahrenheit in the hills. Winds over the open sea will be from the east at 10 to 20 knots and then becoming gusty later tonight. Sea conditions will be moderate today and then become moderate to rough for tonight. Hence, a small craft caution is likely to go into effect tonight for gusty winds and occasionally rough seas. High tides occur at 9:25 this morning and then at 10:24 tonight. Low tides at 4:10 this evening and then at 4:08 tomorrow morning. The moon will set at 6:17 this evening and rise at 6:15 tomorrow morning. And then sunset is at 6:07 this evening and sunrise at 5:40 tomorrow morning. The extended forecast. Generally fair, hot, and dry conditions are expected for tomorrow and tomorrow night. The sargassum update. The risk of sargassum affecting beaches across the country has been increased to medium as the latest satellite imagery show more mats approaching the area. And the fire forecast. As conditions are expected to be hot and dry for tomorrow, the risk for fires will be high. And this has been this morning's weather report from the National Meteorological Service.
All right, thank you so much to the National Meteorological Service for that update. It is going to constantly be hot and dry. Please be hydrated. We have our show lineup for this morning. Paul, we have 3 great conversations. We start our show with representatives from the National Women's Commission who will be here to talk to us about the national gender policy.
And then our second conversation is all about crocodile research and conservation with the Crocodile Research Coalition, and they will be in to speak with us about their internship program.
And wrapping up our show for this morning, it's all about Miss Universe Belize, and we're going to have conversations with all of the delegates in our final conversation. But before that, we got to take the break. When we come back, it's all about the national gender policy. Don't go away.
For 19 years, SMART has been the pulse of our nation. A journey of growth, innovation, resilience, and unity.
From the first call that bridged distances to the data that brought us closer than ever, SMART has been there, weaving threads of connection across our beautiful land.
We have been active in providing innovative solutions to enhance our customers' lifestyles. Over the years, SMART has developed and provided various services to meet customers' needs.
To the dreamers, doers, and the believers, thank you for making SMART a part of your story. For 19 years of trust, loyalty, partnership, and shared experiences.
As we celebrate 19 years of connecting lives and dreams, let's keep the rhythm alive. Together, let's continue to shape our future one connection at a time.
Come and be a part of the SMART family, where we empower you and our country today, tomorrow, and beyond.
SMART, bringing people together.
$2,251,000 slices of watermelon are eaten by tourists each year in Belize, benefiting local farmers and processors directly. Tourism means business.
Respira. Este es un momento de paz patrocinado por Nutribom, dedicado a todos los padres que llevan 5 noches sin dormir. Inhala y exhala. Porque entre el caos y la calma está el cereal infantil Nutribom, enriquecido con todos los nutrientes que tu bebé necesita para un crecimiento saludable, haciendo de su primer alimento un momento de alegría para él y uno de tranquilidad para ti. Cereal infantil Nutribom. Momentos que nutren. Encuentra sus 6 sabores al mejor precio en supermercados o tu mercadito más cercano.
I'm David Humes. This is Vanessa Humes. We own Ladyville Cool Spot. Belize Bank save us a lot of time. Working with them, we can keep track exactly what we spend. We recommend Belize Bank 100% because we don't have to go to stand up in line, and we can check on our account right from our house. Working with Belize Bank is the best.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
All right, welcome back for our first conversation. It's all about the National Gender Policy, and who better to talk to us about it than the chair of the National Women's Commission, Ms. Thea Garcia Ramirez. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So we know that there has been some discussions on renewing, or I guess placing more emphasis on the National Gender Policy. I believe it was of last week that the UNDP created a statement of our new revised gender policy. Let's talk about what has been done and what we hope to be done in the future with the NGP.
Well, the National Gender Policy has been approved and adopted by Cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that UNDP was the partner, the partner that helped us develop the National Gender Policy. So that statement that you have, that you saw last week, was definitely in light of that Cabinet has approved that.
Mm-hmm.
And so the policy creates a framework or the pathway, and then to tell us what is the overarching goal and guides the steps, the action plan of how we're going to achieve that goal. In this case, gender equality and equity.
How far-reaching is this gender policy? What sectors of society does it seek to influence?
All sectors of society, private organizations, public. I think that we need gender equality and equity across all sectors.
Yeah. I think what a lot of people believe that the national gender policy is catered for women and children only, right? So I think that's what you were trying to allude to.
My first question was clear. My second would have been, what do we mean when we say, when we speak to gender policy in terms of gender? What specific gender are we speaking to?
All genders. All genders. The gender policy speaks to especially underserved communities, trying to bring them up to that level where they have a dignified life. For example, some of the marginalized groups or marginalized communities can be indigenous women, rural women, women in the inner city that have particular difficulties accessing services. For example, single parents, and I say single parents because it's not only single mothers, but single parents have difficulty. We're talking about people that are differently abled. For example, addressing issues. There's different barriers. For example, have you tried going to some government offices that are on the second floor, and there's no way, if you're in a wheelchair, to get there? So there's barriers to accessing services. And there should be, for example, especially not in a public building.
Yeah. Ms. Thea, can we speak a little bit about the laws that are already in place to, I guess, quote unquote, achieve gender equity and equality? And what laws are we hoping to create and support these existing laws?
Well, policy is just that, a policy. It's not legislature. So the legislature follows the guideline that the policy sets, for example. So we're just now socializing and with partners, with stakeholders, the Sexual Harassment Act that we hope to revise. There's been one on the books for a long, long time. It's never been used. And it's never been used simply because it doesn't really have much teeth, I would say. So nobody has ever used that piece of legislature. And so we're hoping to revise it and come up with a revision that really works to deter and minimize incidences of sexual harassment within the workplace, within just public life. You know, I mean, one of the major problems that we've been having, and there was a year or two ago when we started doing roundtable discussions for young women ages 13 to 18 across the country. One of the biggest complaints that we heard from young girls were that, in fact, that they were being harassed on the streets, catcalling. And a lot of work has to be done, for example, in ensuring that people realize that catcalling is neither nice, it's certainly unwanted, and very offensive to the person being catcalled. We had discussions, for example, I come from Crocodile, and I was surprised, and I have to say disappointed, to know that there are young girls there that spoke of their experience of not wanting to go to the shop for for their mom or dad like a lane down from where they live, simply because they were being harassed on their way to the shop.
Yeah.
A lot of instances, for example, describe that the most perpetrators of this are in fact men in uniform.
Yes.
And so, these are the things that the policy addresses. And then, for example, we want to strengthen the Sexual Harassment Act. So that, for one, there's also institutional strengthening that we're doing. And that is, you may have noticed that at the beginning of the observance of Women's Month in March, the National Women's Commission was made into a statutory body. And so those are the things that we're doing with institutional strengthening. The National Commission for Families and Children is now a commission. It was a committee before. So it's now a commission. And so those kinds of things where we're strengthening institutions also are spoken of in the national gender policy as trying to get us all focused, and part of the action plan.
What does gender equity, based on the policy, look like in the workplace? For example, at the executive level, is there a suggestion or perhaps an inclination towards having the same amount of women on the executive board as you do the men? How does it help to combat what many still view as a patriarchal society that we live in?
Well, I don't think it's a view. I think it's a reality.
Well, yeah, I put it nicely, but I appreciate your input.
Definitely. I think generally there's been a move and there's been a talk about shattering glass ceilings, but I'm more concerned about having concrete floors, so where we're saying, we can go up from here, but this is the standard, this is the minimum that we should have. And simply put, for example, there's a lot of barriers to women being within the workforce and advancing their career, especially during a woman's childbearing years, which are for anybody, they're more productive years. We're saying between 25 and 40. Barriers which women face that men simply don't. And I say that to mean that the natural expectation, at least in Belize, and I can speak from experience because I'm a woman living in Belize, to tell you that the natural expectation is that the woman will take over and bear the brunt of not only childbearing, obviously, but child rearing and so if you have anywhere more than two children and it becomes cheaper for somebody to stay home and take care of the children as opposed to paying babysitting, and there's never a question in people's minds who is supposed to stay home and take care of the children. So regardless if you're in a relationship where the woman is earning more than the male, the expectation is, well, she's the mother, she ought to stay home and take care of her children. We saw that especially during COVID, where women naturally dropped out. But if you look at things like statistics, where women, for example, are graduating with bachelor's degrees and master's degrees, there are more women in Belize that graduate, from tertiary level institutions. But then you look over at the statistics for employment, and those women are not there.
Yep.
So obviously, where are they? They're at home with the bachelor's degrees and the master's degrees, and that is something terrible for Belize as a country, for our productivity. It reflects in our GDP. When you are not fulfilling the potential of half of your population, that means that as a country we are not as productive as we should be.
But and here's my question when it comes to these types of, I mean, I applaud it, I'm all for it, yay, but I find it a little bit difficult to believe in a policy, not just in Belize, but anywhere in the world, where it's a cultural perspective. It's a mindset that for some reason we can't seem to shake. Yes, you have some of your guys that are feminists and so forth, and then you have the other side of why men don't get the same treatment, you know, these types of conversations. And so as much as I applaud this policy, how are we trying to change the status quo and the culture of our people?
Well, there's a whole rollout of a communications program aimed at exactly that, changing the mindset of the people, which is why, and I think over the last 3 years at least, you've seen gender and gender policies and actions that have spoken at least to this government's commitment to changing the status quo. And it took us 3 years to pass the gender policy, to make it a reality. But we did. We haven't had one since 2013. So that speaks
volumes.
And I have to highlight Minister Dolores Valderramos Garcia's commitment to these types of initiatives, and she has been a leader for a long time in the area, and has put Belize as sort of the model in a lot of areas. I mean, back in the day when she ensured that women that were in common law relationships actually had the same rights as women that were married, legally married, that was groundbreaking back then, and set the stage up for, you know, what a lot of women still go through today. So because before, you could have been in a common law relationship for 30 years and then were put out on the street with the clothes on your back and nobody could do anything. And that basically also she ensured that that there was value put to being a homemaker, that to say that women actually contributed by taking care of the family and not doing all of these things, and that you deserved something in terms of whatever was made or created within the time that relationship was there. So those things really at that time blew our minds, but now seem commonplace. I mean, of course, if you're in a relationship for more than 5 years and certain things happened and houses were built and cars were bought, that women, even though they stayed in the home and that was their contribution to the family, that was given a monetary value. And so when there's a separation of these goods, that she should also have a right to that. So even 20 years ago, you know, that was wasn't the norm, and now it is. And so it goes to show that we can change, we can learn, we can do better, and I think it's just a matter of Belize knowing better. I mean, and once you know better, then you have to obviously do better. And I also want to highlight the great work that the Special Envoy, Her Excellency, Mrs. Rosanna Briceño, does in highlighting these issues. She does a lot through social media and through different programs and through fundraising for different causes that strengthen family, children, and obviously our for the efforts that we're having for gender equity and equality. The ladies over at the Secretariat, the National Women's Commission have been doing an excellent job. The ministry itself proper, we have some great people there that are committed, CEOs past and present, CEO Tanya Santos, great advocate, and we also have, we have a male CEO, Mr. Marconi Leal, and of course our new CEO, Ms. Adeli, now that is there. They're all great champions, and so I think that in the past, when maybe there's a marked difference when you have that ministry under a man as well, and now you have it under a woman, things are really moving forward. Things that have languished there, reports that hadn't been submitted in a decade, CEDAW reports that we have commitments as a country to inform of our progress, hadn't been done in over a decade, and we have done those now.
Ms. Thea, you outlined some key women in very influential roles, and I appreciate you doing that. And you'll forgive me, but I glean a bit of irony from the fact that what can be perceived as a male-heavy cabinet adopting a gender policy such as this. When you look at Parliament, there's a lot of work to be done there. I think we have, correct me if I'm wrong, four, maybe 5 women in Parliament with over 30 seats existing within Parliament. Would you agree that there is a lot of work left to be done, specifically where the highest and most influential offices of our nation is concerned?
Definitely, I would definitely agree with you, and I won't shy away from saying that women in decision-making and leadership positions in governance, really, but I think it doesn't start there. It starts at fielding candidates. So it's from the party perspective, if you can't be elected if your party doesn't put you up there.
Yeah.
So if you have 2 male candidates, either way you're going to get a male. Yeah. So really it has to be done at the basic party levels. And I know it doesn't come overnight, but I think even though now we're at the government level and well, the last election has come and gone, and this is how we ended up with as far as the mix. I believe that government has done a tremendous job of trying to balance by putting a lot of women in CEO positions within boards, just because they recognize, and I think they have to be given. They have to be recognized for seeing that there needs to be a gender balance. There just needs to be. So at the point where you have had an election and have chosen area representatives, there's not much that can be done except to do what they're doing now, is to make sure that women are included wherever there's space. It's not perfect, and I know what you're going to say, like, well, but
well, I was going to say that politics is a different arena altogether, because, and I say this because whenever we have women politicians on the show, my question is always, why don't we have a lot of women running for politics in the first place? And that goes back to our culture again. It goes back to why
the belief that women aren't thick-skinned enough, aren't up for the challenge,
or the fact that, like, even me, people ask and they say, oh, but you could talk. I would never, and I don't know what it is. It's just something, I think, in our culture where we're not uplifting our women to run for politics, because politics is they vote for you or they don't, right? It's either your hat is tossed in the arena or it's not. And so I think that politics is a very tricky thing. We still have a lot of room for cultural change when it comes to women in politics. But what I really wanted to get down for this gender policy, if you will, Nestea, that kind of, if we have like a brief breakdown of what we can expect with it rolling out.
Well, there's some work that has been done already for like I said, the strengthening of the organizations, but there's also, for example, pilot projects that are going to come on and are really, really exciting. For example, I know that and I'm letting the cat out of the bag, but I'll give you, I'll tell you anyway.
We appreciate that.
For example, the ministry has embarked on finding monies in order to put a pilot project for daycare.
Okay.
They're going to pilot that in the city. Particularly, there's a gap because a lot of women work in the BPO sector. But and I was saying earlier, within the childbearing years, it's difficult to keep women, and that's the time when you can advance and go up in your career. But if you have to take a break of 5 years, then your male counterparts advance and you don't, and then leaving the work at that critical time is not good. So in order to attract women to the workplace and keep them in the workplace and keep them working, you have to again, it's not equality, it's equity, because that is something that men don't need. It's not targeted for men, it's targeted for working women. So daycare, and so the policy ensures that the action plan has things like these, where there's going to be daycare, and daycare in Belize, having been a working mother, my children are all adults now, but for example, having a good babysitter, they're worth their weight in gold, because if you can find somebody to keep them that you trust, that are going to love your children.
Any conversation on extending the maternity leave period?
Well, yes, and there's also talk about paternity leave as well.
Yes.
You see, if you want to say that we're strengthening families, you have to give, and it's multi-sectorial. So we're saying, for example, if you want men to bond with children, it can't be 3 days, 5 days, depending what your organization wants to give.
If they even have a paternity leave,
and it's and for example, then you have to speak to Social Security, because parental leave should be equal. Yes. So in this case, the men are being discriminated against, because you have as much right as women to bond with your baby
and to raise your baby. It's one of those. I think that conversation, I think, is something that we don't have often enough when it comes to paternity care as well. But I asked the question in the sense of, yes, equal parental leave of absence, but also equal in pay as well, because I know as women we can extend our maternity leave, but that would mean taking a lesser pay or no pay if you extend your maternity leave.
Right. Well, for example, those questions, and like I say, multi-sectoral, because you would have to have the Ministry of Labor engaged. You would have to have Social Security engaged in those conversations to see what can be done. And for example, also not only a paternity leave, but you're talking for Ministry of Health says breast is best, and they encourage you to breastfeed exclusively for the first year. But how are we making that possible with women that work?
Yeah.
In other countries, they give, some time off or a couple of hours a day for
women to go home and
breastfeed, or to pump, and to make spaces for breastfeeding as well. Or, somebody could bring your baby to work and try to do some of that in your lunch hour, but do you have a space where you're able to go. So like I said, it's multi-sectoral because it's cross-cutting across different ministries and different organizations. So
I think that when it comes to the gender policy and feminism in general and stuff like that, it's not special treatment. It's being able to have the option
just going to say
to do my job and to naturally be a woman, because you can't really do anything about getting pregnant and being able to raise your child.
This conversation goes down, based on just what I'm hearing, to the basic needs that we seem to have dismissed for so long and not taken into consideration, and now the conversation is being had, and I'm here like, duh, why didn't we think of this? Or why didn't we implement these things and have this conversation a long time ago?
The thing is, we live in a society that's not homogeneous. You know, we're not all the same. We're you know, and how boring would that be? We always say Belize is a melting pot, but not only of cultures, but people on a whole. No one person is like another. Even if you're twins, characters, personalities are different. And so you can't have just a one blanket policy and across the board, because it doesn't fit. So what we're trying to do with the gender policy is recognize that we are all different, and that you have to make spaces where everybody can, you know, and policies and legislature and whatever else, and the action plan goes on and on to say, well, we have to ensure that everybody is welcomed, we inclusive, you know, we have an inclusive society, and that our society works for all of us.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ms. Thea. This is a great conversation.
We could have this.
We could have this for another 20 minutes, but we are completely out of time. The new gender policy has been rolled out as of last week, and we hope to see it implemented more. Thank you so much for being here this morning. We got to take a quick break, and when we come back, it's all about the Miss Universe Belize pageant. Paul, we are going to be having the Miss Destiny Wagner, who is the National Director of the Miss Universe Belize. She's joining us next. Don't go away.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Full-Tech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Full-Tech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service.
Unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Iowa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Iowa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Iowa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Iowa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Iowa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
At The Oasis, we believe in the art of celebration. Our exquisite range of wines adds a touch of elegance to every celebration. Elevate your sports night with the finest spirits from The Oasis. Savor the victory with every sip. Love, laughter, and the perfect blend. Whether it's a romantic evening or a casual get-together, our spirits set the mood. The Oasis is your destination for all occasions. Visit us today and discover a world of taste, quality and elegance. The Oasis, where every bottle tells a story.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes, go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time, and so are we.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's Daily Obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
Do you have information about a crime or a fugitive in our community? You can submit a tip anonymously with your smartphone. Using this program in safeguarding our community also protects your identity, keeping you out of the court system, and could earn you a cash reward. Here is how it works. Download the free P3 Tips app from the Apple Store or Android Market. P3 is the provider of our secure anonymous tip collecting software. Open the app and create a PIN, but be sure to remember that number, then select your location. Next, select the type of crime. When submitting a tip, be as specific as possible. If you have a picture, video, or audio that will help officers, you can upload them from your phone. Information leading to an arrest can earn you a cash reward of up to $1,000. Once your tip is submitted, you'll be given a tip ID and password. Check back if your tip leads to an arrest. You'll be told how much you were rewarded and how to anonymously collect your cash.
It's time that we realize that we must work together to thrive. The world as we know it, the sky and below it. Could I never have more wonder? Yeah, with life and all you see and the climate's changing, but hope is remaining. And we can't ignore the future. It depends on you and me. One chance, all that we got. One voice, together we stand. Take care, the world where we live. Permite a todos vivir. Tomamos la oportunidad para guardar la humanidad. And I must leave no one behind because we are one climate, one Caribbean. One
And we are back. Joining us for our second conversation, we have some of the Miss Universe Belize delegates joining us this morning. Ladies, how are you? Good. So if you would be so kind as to help me address our viewers this morning, just give us your name and where you are from here.
Good morning, Belize. My name is Vivian Norales, and it gives me great pleasure to bring the beautiful smiles from my people of San Pedro.
Ooh, okay.
Good morning. My name is Michaela Gongora, and I am representing the Belizean diaspora.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Miriam Abdulkawi, and I am representing Belize City.
Good morning, Belize. I'm representing all the way from the north, Curacao District. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Fanny, and I am from Belize City, Belize.
Good morning. My name is Destiny Arnold, and I am the National Director of Miss Universe Belize Foundation.
Good morning. I'm Channel 5.
Hi, Paul. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us this morning. So the hype is up. Destiny, thank you so much for bringing back, I think, what was missing from Belize for quite some time. I think we missed seeing Belize on the worldwide stage for the Miss Universe pageant. Tell us the preparations that went into bringing our delegates together this year.
Wow, I cannot take all of the credit. I have an amazing team of a board of directors who have been diligently working alongside of me in preparation for our lovely delegates and eventually our Miss Universe Belize 2024. As far as the preparation, it's been interacting with these ladies, making sure that they have the resources available to put their best foot forward on pageant night, and all of the logistical stuff on the background, making sure contracts are drafted, that pageant night is going to go off without a hitch, and everyone is in for a fabulous treat. So it's just a lot of the minute details to the large details.
I think that for us as viewers and as supporters of the Miss Universe Belize pageant, I think I can safely say we have a beautiful, diverse group this year. I think I would like to start off with you, Mariam. Why did you want to run for this particular pageant?
I wanted to run, well, two reasons why. This is a dream revisited for me. I participated way back in 2012, honey.
You say it like that.
I don't look it, but I did. And so when the opportunity presented itself, I'm so passionate for my country and passionate to be an ambassador for Belize that when I got that opportunity, you know, when they lift the age restriction, I was like, I'm going to take the risk and revisit the dream instead of live with regret. So that's why I wanted to, you know, go up. And the second reason is just because of my passion for Belize and my passion for, you know, promoting Belize and all things Belizean. Like, if I have the opportunity to do that, I will do that.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I wanted to ask this very same question to a couple of the other delegates. So if you would, you can volunteer just to say, why is it that you decided to become a delegate for Miss Universe? What did you go over there?
So I became a delegate because I'm very passionate about my field. I am a behavioral technician. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology, and I wanted to bring more resources in Belize, and I wanted to find some way somehow to bring that here. And I saw Miss Universe opened up. I know that they weren't doing it last year, so I executed that opportunity, and that's why I'm here. I'm super excited.
Go over to...
So, the same reason, you know, I'm a registered nurse, and, well, the age restriction was lifted, so it was a dream revisited, and my advocacy is medical missions, and I just want to catapult that to the next level. I want to bring surgeries so our Belizeans can have them free of charge, medical evaluations, and it's just a way for me to get back to my country.
Two ladies.
Well, I decided to join primarily because the entire core value of Miss Universe has changed.
Yeah.
They're now in seek of a transformational leader. They're redefining what it means to be a beauty queen. And that's actually what inspired me to want to come back and recompete, because I did 5 years ago. And so when I saw the whole value change for the entire company, I mean, the owner of Miss Universe is also a businesswoman. I'm a businesswoman. So I was very excited when I saw Destiny got the franchise, and I said, you know what, I think this is my time. I feel like I have a lot to offer, a lot of more life experiences. I have a bigger network, and I think one of the biggest issues that we have here in Belize is getting businesses on board to support pageantry. And I feel coming in as a businesswoman, it'll help to get other business want to take part, you know, because they see that it's more than just pageantry and you're able to accomplish a lot more marketing-wise. Not only that, I'm very passionate about my advocacy, which is LIVE, the LIVE Foundation. So LIVE stands for Leaders and Innovative Visionaries, which is basically empowering women, young girls, students when it comes to their business ideas, when it comes to wanting to be in leadership. And I've conducted so many projects and I've seen the value that it's had on the people that I've worked with before, and I feel that collectively it'll ignite a movement for transformative change in Belize.
So let's hear from you, Michaela.
For me, the reason why I really wanted to become a delegate, I'm always looking for more opportunities to represent Belize as well, especially in the States. If I have the opportunity, I'm jumping to it. And then when this advertisement came about, I thought, what a better way to represent, and especially on a big stage like this. A little backstory, I am the only girl. I have brothers. So this right here is like a sisterhood for me. It's women empowerment. We get to lift each other up, and it combines all the things that I love. I am in the entertainment industry, so I love fashion, and I love dressing up in entertainment and put on a show for the stage. And so for me, it was a no-brainer. I jumped to this. I was so excited.
I've been hearing the words like advocacy. The entire arena has changed. Your new policies and so forth. Age restrictions have been lifted. For somebody like me, I used to think that it was just pretty girls in heels. I'm being very honest, right? That this
There's
is just
a stigma.
there's a stigma, and so I really want to talk about what are some of the benefits that it would have for one of these beautiful girls to take on that reign as Miss Belize?
I think firstly that our group of delegates is a testament to the diversity of the women in Belize, and ultimately Miss Universe Belize provides that platform for that to be ignited and expedited within the public eye to go ahead and transform that stigma, because there is a vast majority of our public that believes that it's just about the beauty, the surface level things. So when we designed our competition this year, we wanted the all-encompassing title holder. So we really did put the pressure on the delegates to make sure that they were very active within their advocacy, that it wasn't just lip service, that they were actually interacting with their community, engaging their target community, and making sure that there were real results in their advocacies. And also, of course, because it's pageantry, we want them to give a show on pageant night. So you can expect the fun side of things as well. But all in all, once you walk out of this experience, title holder or not, you become a better and more empowered woman, whether it's because you can walk within a political room or just a room with friends and move that room. Whether it's going into that job interview and acing it because you just know how to conduct yourself. There are certain skills that pageantry can provide for you that are applicable across the board.
That's very, very true.
Talking about breaking stereotypes, right? I have a question. You're from different communities. Here's the question. If there's one thing that you could change in your community, one thing that you believe your influence could make a difference in your community, different communities that you're from, what would that be? Starting with the Belize City, right?
Yes. It would be access to healthcare.
You could use them.
It would be access to healthcare. Half of our Belizean population lives in poverty. They don't have access to healthcare like we do in the States. When I was doing medical evaluations in rural villages, 1 out of 3 patients that I would see would have high blood pressure, diabetes, and the numbers would be extremely high. So by that time, it's advanced. You know, it can lead to chronic kidney disease and even strokes. So if we can change that, if we can bring care to our Belizean families, then we can have a healthier Belize. Yeah.
So for me, I would definitely want to get more exposure on children with disabilities, or a broader perspective on that, because there are stigmas surrounding it as well. Definitely more resources provided in Belize. There's a lack within the school system. There should be accommodations for different levels of disabilities because there's different varieties. And because of that, you know, a lot of students and children struggle. And I hope that in the future that could change. So that would be my biggest thing for Belize.
And by the way, we're not keeping scores here.
We don't know how to judge Pageant. Don't let him. Everything is judged. Let's hear it from you, Mariam.
No pressure. Paul watching me now like,
why'd you say that?
So thank you so much for that question, Paul, because that's something that I always think about. What could I change in my community and to be a change maker? And my biggest thing that I would change is mental health and the stigma surrounding mental health. We have a huge stigma about mental health here in Belize, and not only spreading awareness, but going into the community. And what I do at my advocacy is managing mental health using mindfulness techniques for self-empowerment and community change. If we empower ourselves and we feel better about ourselves and we heal ourselves, we'll go out together and work together to build a better Belize together. So that is what I would do for sure. I mean, it's what I've been doing in the community. And I also want to take it a step further and, start a mental health resource center, have a suicide prevention hotline. We don't have that in Belize. Have a mental health work day here in Belize. We don't have that either. You can't get no mental health day. You just y'all forgot our work, Paul.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
or
there's
pretend that you're sick.
Or pretend that you're sick
off.
so that you can have a mental health day. And it's so important. And so I'm so happy to announce that I have partnered with, the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Ministry of Health to start this campaign with mental health. So it's not just me. It's actually like we're going to get on the ground and get it moving. So that's what I want to do in my community, man, because it's so important. A lot of people are hurting and hiding their pain. And I just think we all have to remove the stigma and work together. Like, mental health is just like regular health. Like, okay, your heart's not good. Sometimes your mind's not good. That's okay, boo. We're not alone. We're not alone. It's that, that's what my message is for that mental health.
Wonderful.
So for me, because I do represent the Belizean diaspora, I would love to bridge the gap of the cultures and bring awareness to the health crisis of domestic violence. My advocacy is for teen dating domestic violence relationships. I myself am a survivor of a teen dating domestic violence relationship. So coming here to Belize City, which, by the way, shout out to my family in Belize City. Here in Belize City, what I would like to bring in to see a difference is when I do my outreaches and when I go to all of these different locations, it's to bring the resources that I have in the States here. I have come here and I've got to speak to a lot of young ladies and men, and I've heard that there's not a lot. There are some resources here, but there's not a lot, and there's a lot from the States that could be very, very beneficial here. So my goal is to bring that here as much as possible, bring awareness, teach people how to connect with a person who is in that relationship, or you might be in that as well. So as long as I can touch one person, I feel like my goal has been done.
Wonderful. Vivian?
For me, I think what I'd like to change transcends beyond San Pedro. I think in Belize as a whole, my presence, I really want to help to inspire a change in mentality for our children. Because I think that's where it starts, and reignite hope and dreams for them to know that no dream is too big and you can literally accomplish anything you want. And I think representation matters, and me being here, a lot of people know I come from a very diverse family, very humble family, and I've worked really hard to achieve what I have now and to be able to share that with other people in the community. And so that is something that's the reason I'm here. I really want change. I really want to work with the children. I really want to work with women, because we have talent, we have people that are smart, we have people that are able to accomplish anything, but they haven't realized their rights and their power. And I think if we all can collectively contribute to that, we'll make a huge change, not only for our generation, but the upcoming ones. It'll really leave a legacy for Belize.
I feel sorry for the judges.
I just read.
I am so.
Yeah, every answer was
right.
spot
I was just
on.
there like, wow.
Yeah.
I am so happy to be a spectator and not going to be all wonderfully said ladies.
No, I mean, now that we've gotten the brains out of the way, right? I want to know, how difficult is it to actually prepare for a pageant? What are some of the challenges? Is it maintaining a beauty standard?
Posture.
Is it your posture, your walk, I don't know, you have talent? You do talent?
No,
you don't do talent.
We're talented in ourselves.
Right. Is it preparing to answer questions? For you, what is the most challenging? And this is getting you a bit more vulnerable here, not to have your competition one up on you, but what's the most challenging for you? We'll start with you, Miriam.
For me, all encompassing. The challenges were all encompassing because there's so many things that you have to prepare for. And I am a person who I am well versed in many different areas. You all know that.
Yeah.
However, pageantry is a different way of presenting oneself on stage. And I'm very serious when it comes to presenting myself and presenting myself the correct way. And so it was about not being a perfectionist for me, because trying to hit everything perfectly all the time was difficult. And then there isn't a pageantry school or a modeling school here in Belize. So that was an issue, because other places have those, resources where you could go and, you could just like sign up and then I'm participating in a pageant, I need training, and then a teacher will come and be fabulous and make you fabulous. But here in Belize, you're kind of on your own. You have to kind of find people.
Baptism by fire.
Yes, but there are people who are here who are very dedicated to pageantry. So shout out to everybody dedicated to pageantry and my team who just appeared in front of me. I don't know, I prayed and God conjured them for me. But yeah, so that was my biggest challenge, Paul, was to remove the perfectionism and kind of start from the ground up and learn with fresh eyes.
Anybody else want to take a crack at the question?
I would say for me was losing fear. I think a lot of people hinder their own growth because of fear, and you're not able to achieve certain goals because you always think about the what if, not even take a chance, a leap of faith and said what could possibly happen. And me coming back 5 years after, I was a little bit scared, I won't lie. I was terrified. I knew I wanted it so bad, but I was a little bit scared of what other people would say, she's trying again. And then I said, but what if I do try this time and I am able to make a difference? And for me, that's what's mattered most to me than just winning the crown. And aside from that, the preparation for me was mostly mental. It was mostly just getting back here and realizing that there's a lot of pressure. Not only that, I have to manage my businesses, I have to manage my foundation, I have to be a part of pageantry. So it was a lot, but luckily I had a really good team. And coming from San Pedro, we're known as the powerhouse of pageantry. And we have people that are super talented. Like Miriam said, we don't have school for pageantry, but we do have the talent here. And that is something, especially when Destiny created House of Crowns, these are more things that we need. And I think slowly by slowly we'll begin building pageantry again. And so that's mostly the presentation. Aside from that, just having the team, mentally prepare myself. It's also collectively trying to work on what is the end goal of being a part of Miss Universe Belize. And a lot of people look at us and they probably think, oh, it's just the next Miss Universe Belize, like you mentioned earlier. Yeah. But this year it's way different. We were coming with a lot to offer.
Final question for one of our delegates to answer. Why should young girls sign up to be a part of Miss Universe Belize? What does that do for our generations that are coming up?
I think it gives us a level of leadership. That's one thing that we need to postpone to everybody. And it gives us the courage to stand up for things that we believe in. I know for me personally, I was terrified of the stage at first, but I'm so passionate about this because this is what I do for a living. This is what I want to bring here in Belize. So I definitely want to encourage young girls to take that step, take that leap of faith, because pageantry has, like how Destiny was saying, there's so many things that can be applied within your life. Yeah. You're learning how to work with other people, you're learning how to speak, you're learning how to stand strong and be tall on all the advocacies and issues that you want to bring forth. So for me, I feel like young girls, you should do it. Go out there.
Before we round up this conversation, I'd like to give Ms. Destiny a final opportunity to tell us a bit more details in terms of when the pageant will take place, where, if there's tickets available, where can you get the tickets?
Yes, of course, my favorite part, right?
Yeah.
The national pageant will be aired on TNC and also on the Next Gen app. In person, we are hosting it at the Belize City Center at 8 p.m. on Saturday, April 13th. On the dot.
That's this Saturday.
That is this Saturday on the dot. We're not going to be late this year, so please be on time. The doors open at 6:30 p.m. and you can find your tickets at your local showroom, smart showroom, excuse me.
Okay, wonderful. Well, we only had half of our delegates for this segment. Now that we're going to take a break, we'll be back with our other half of delegates. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
Upcoming enhancements to My Social Security. The new healthcare provider feature seamlessly connects healthcare providers, insured persons, and employers to facilitate the payment of sickness benefits. Here are the enhancements. Registered healthcare providers will create and submit online medical certificates using their healthcare provider accounts. Insured persons will receive a link to view the medical certificate to complete and submit their sickness benefit claim. And employers will receive an email notification of their employee's sickness claim. Also, the insured person and their employer will receive a copy of the claim decision letter after review. Healthcare providers, insured persons, and employers are encouraged to create a portal account to access and benefit from these new services on My Social Security at ssbportal.org.bz. My Social Security online portal. Social Security at your fingertips.
Hi, my name is Lincoln Fowers and I work at UMall. 100% I will recommend Belize Bank mobile banking to everyone because it saves time, money, and gas price because gas price is high right now. Belize Bank mobile banking just make life easier.
For 19 years, SMART has been the pulse of our nation. A journey of growth, innovation, resilience, and unity.
From the first call that bridged distances to the data that brought us closer than ever, SMART has been there, weaving threads of connection across our beautiful land.
We have been active in providing innovative solutions to enhance our customers' lifestyles. Over the years, SMART has developed and provided various services to meet customers' needs.
To the dreamers, doers, and the believers, thank you for making SMART a part of your story. For 19 years of trust, loyalty, partnership, and shared experiences.
As we celebrate 19 years of connecting lives and dreams, let's keep the rhythm alive. Together, let's continue to shape our future one connection at a time.
Come and be a part of the SMART family, where we empower you and our country today, tomorrow, and beyond.
SMART, bringing people together.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
And welcome back to our final conversation with our second round of the Miss Universe Belize delegates. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning. So I'll give you guys a chance to introduce yourself to the viewers and where you represent. Start with you.
All right. Good morning, Belize. My name is Halima Hoy. I'm 29 years old and I'm representing Belize City.
Good morning and good morning, Belize. My name is Myra Cibrian and I'm representing the beautiful city of Belmopan.
Good morning, Belize. I am Jasmine Ramdas representing the capital city, Belmopan.
Hi, good morning, Belize. My name is Monali Aspinall and I'm representing the beautiful village of St. Matthews.
Very village girl, that's city girl. Very, very diverse group of ladies as well. So I wanted to give you all the opportunity to tell our audience why you ran for Miss Universe Belize and what does that mean for you. Let's start with you.
All right. So I'm running for Miss Universe Belize because I realized that it is, I'm not getting any younger, and I want to pursue a long time dream of mine. And ever since I was a little girl, this is something that I've always wanted to do, but I'm married for 6 years now. So I wasn't able to do it for the past 6 years, and now I am finally open to that opportunity, and I decided to just seize the moment. Additionally, it is a perfect opportunity for me to highlight something that I'm very passionate about, which is bringing awareness to Belize City about, how to make lifestyle changes in terms of health and fitness. And I also want to be a role model for little girls who grew up in the community similar to the ones where I grew up. I grew up on the south side of Belize, and I want them to know that it's never too late to chase your wildest dreams.
Muriel?
So thank you for giving me the floor. Actually, one of the biggest reasons as to why I joined Miss Universe is because of the platform that it offers. I am very enthusiastic about my advocacy, and not just my own, but I also learned a lot about the advocacies of the rest of the girls, that we have very powerful women in the group, very diverse, and everyone, I really love the fact that everyone had something different to offer, something different to advocate for. But I'm very passionate about that, the platform that it offers. And of course, I think it's every little girl's dream to be a Miss Universe. And of course for Belize, because we have a country that is so beautiful and that we need to put out there, and there's so many things that we can show the world. And that is what I think all of the ladies here are here to do, to show the world what Belize is all about. And of course, like I said, also I'm very passionate about being a catalyst for positive change, and be able to raise awareness for all the issues and the things that we have going on here in Belize and worldwide. So that is my biggest reason.
Jasmine?
Okay. Miss Universe was one of the very first pageant that I actually wanted to do from way before I did Miss Belmopan in 2014. Unfortunately, Belize didn't have the title holder for it. From there, I went to represent Belize for Miss World in 2015. Got pregnant in 2016 when we got the title, and I was like, okay, that means dreams crash, it's over. Yeah. And when they announced that mothers can now participate in the pageant, I was very excited. I was like, this is my chance now. If not now, never. So I got the opportunity to be here this morning, to be here this week, and to be on that stage on April 13th. And I am very much excited that I can pursue my dreams now, and I can definitely say that I made history in being one of the first mothers to represent Belmopan and to participate in the Miss Universe Belize pageant. And I have my biggest motivation, which is my daughter. Just before leaving Belmopan, she was like, Mom, pageant started already. I was like, baby, this week we have activities. And she was like, okay, Mom, make sure you win. You will win. And that was a bit emotional for me, because I know that with just leaving her behind and having her in the care of my mother, it's very hard, but it's something that, keeps me going, to know that I will make history. And I know that I have my supporters out there that are very proud of me, and I will keep going for you guys. For the mothers out there, I'm doing this for you guys, not just for me, just to let you guys know that success comes in all different shape and form.
So, as most people that know me, I like to think of myself as a giant person, a big personality. But funnily enough, it was one of the things that was insecurity for me for a really long time. In high school, I shot up before everybody else. And so, people find insecurities and things that they don't like, and they pick at it. And so when joining Miss Universe, as I got older, being tall and energetic and stuff was, smiled upon. People enjoyed it now. Yeah. And I still didn't feel like I saw other people that looked like me. So when Miss Universe came around, I was like, I would love to be the representation for women that look like me, girls that look like me. And so I went up and I applied, and even up until the point of being accepted, I was nervous. I was like, I don't think I'm going to get in. And the journey has been incredible. I've spent most of my working career as a youth and mental health advocate. I understand the power that there is behind the mind and how you perceive things, how you look at yourself and others. And so I knew that it was really important for me as a young person, I'm only 23, to not only be a representation of beauty for Black women that look like me, but also, you know, the internal struggle that we don't get to represent. And so for young people, I wanted to be someone that they know. I've been in so many spaces where we talk about young people are the future and young people do this, but oftentimes I'm the only young person in the room. And eventually I was like, no, I need to do something about this. So I think Miss Universe is a fantastic platform to raise all of those things, to make awareness of all of those things.
Thank you very much. I continue to appreciate the diversity in the delegates, not only what communities they represent, but what sort of advocacy they're pushing. Now, I asked the last set of delegates this question, and I'll also pose the question to you. From the community, in the community you're from, what is one thing you would want to change or like to see changed and improved and upgraded in your communities through your influence, through your platforms, etc.? And I'll start with you, Jasmine, being from Belmopan.
In my community and even in Belize City, I feel that us as mothers need a safe place. We don't have that here in Belize City. We don't even have it in the country where we as mothers can go and seek help. It's been a long month, and I've come to realize that us mothers really go through a lot, and we don't talk about it often. We just, put on a smile and go about our life because we see ourselves as we have to be strong. We have to be strong, and we think that, okay, if you cry, you're not strong. And that's a lie. We really need to let it out. We need to talk to people about the issues we face daily. It's very hard to balance the life of being a mother, of working, going to school. And this is where I'm happy and I'm proud that for my advocacy that, I actually got out to reach out to a couple parents, and I got to share that moment with them and, tell them that it's okay to have your alone time. It's okay to relax. It's okay to cry. You can cry, let it out. If you guys holding everything inside, you guys can't be great parents because everything will be up here and it will be on your mind, and there's no way that you guys can focus. So I feel that we need a place where mothers can go, and let me say, if I win, this is where my advocacy comes to play. I plan to have a place where mothers can come in if it's anything they need. If it's a job they're looking for, you guys need help with resume, I am here to assist. If you guys need help in any single thing, it's financial wise, I am here to assist. So with the help of the Belizean community, of course, because it doesn't take one man to do it all. It takes a community.
Wonderful. Halima, over to you.
Well, I want to appeal directly to my community. I grew up on Jane Usher Boulevard in Port Loyola, and I really want you guys to take charge of your health. It is so important to make lifestyle changes to prevent non-communicable diseases. I am scarred because my father passed away prematurely from heart disease, and I had witnessed a lot of my neighbors passing away in their 60s, and we thought that was normal. And now in this field that I'm in, I realize that we can extend the quality of our life and our life expectancy if we make small changes, whether we take a 15-minute walk. 5 minutes is a little bit too little, but a 15-minute walk around the neighborhood or in a local park, drinking the adequate amount of water a day, adding vegetables to every meal. Make tiny changes and take charge of your health, because you will reap the benefits, and it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take some time to create those habits, but start now, and I'll be here with you every step of the way as a resource.
I like to think that I've split my communities into, because I did most of my schooling and education and work in Belize City. My grandmother, I spent most of a lot of time with her. She lives on Reggae Street. And so I also, in St. Matthews, it's a village of immigrants. So a lot of people that have traveled, ran away from war and a lot of bloodshed in a effort to support their families. And I've seen in both cases where a lot of it seems to be they're operating in a vacuum where, even though there's a common language, and I've done my best to learn Spanish so that I can connect with them as well. But a lot of them operate by themselves. It's a lot of them shoulder a lot of the weight of their families and supporting themselves and stuff. And so I know that in St. Matthews there is one clinic that I've traveled to with Belize Family Life Association with them, and sometimes that is the only time they get any kind of health care, mental health care, being able to talk to somebody, sharing the issues that they're going through. And it's sad, because we're doing those visits maybe like twice a month, and that is not nearly enough to understand where those people are struggling with their trauma from moving, their trauma from being, by themselves, where they are moving away from family. And so I'd love to create a place where they can come. Maybe they can drop their children off, daycare, being able to have some time to yourself is important, as well as being able to discuss how they're going to move on with their future plan. Family planning is really important, what they want to do with their future. And sometimes they get held back, not because they don't have the internal passion, but their past and their present is really weighing on what they want to plan for the future.
Love it. Myra?
So I think one of the things that I would definitely like to change, not just in the community, but countrywide and hopefully worldwide, is the stigma and the misconceptions that there are about aging. I would love to create not just a community, but a society that views aging as a normal part of life, because it is. We're all heading down the same road.
That's true.
And also, I would like to not just for the youths, not to just advocate, but also participate in things that engage you with the elderly, because I have done a lot of that, and I know how much that has taught me, not just during this process, because I had done a lot of that work before with them as well. So definitely those are some of the things, because I believe that there's so much that we can learn from them, and there's so much that we can also give to them, because I believe that the elderly sometimes are ignored. Many times they're ignored, and many times it's a population that we don't really take into consideration, and it's very important because they have so much knowledge that they carry. I mean, like Miss Elizabeth Zabani told me in an interview, they are literally, the phrase that we say, been there, done that. So it's like, why do we have to make the same mistakes? Once we learn from the elderly, we don't have to make the same mistakes, and our lives can be so much better.
Yeah.
I know that there are a week-long of activities, as you mentioned, Jasmine. Can we touch on some of that really quickly? What's happening this week? I know that the pageant is Saturday. At 8 p.m., right, Destiny?
She's looking at
so, what are some of the activities that are leading into this night?
Well,
Saturday
I know
night
we're all excited,
Yeah.
like super excited for the crown reveal today.
There's crown reveal today.
Yes, we have a crown reveal brunch, so I think definitely all the girls are, we're crazy to see the crown.
Very emotional.
So you've not seen the crown, you don't know what it looks like. So you don't know how you want to wear a crown yet? Okay.
And then
Trust me, we know. We have imagined it over and over again.
I know for the rest of the week we're going to be doing some courtesy visits. We're going to see the Prime Minister, the Governor General, the Leader of the Opposition. I'm particularly excited about that, because I'm very excited about picking their brains about something. You don't usually get that close contact with them. And then outside of that, we have lots of lovely dinners all over the place. I'm very excited about that. Good food is always a good time. Yeah.
So talk a bit about, if you would, about the sisterhood that comes with such an engagement, a pageant like this one. You come from individual communities with individual backgrounds, but here you are spending so much time together, and at the same time, while you're creating bonds and friendships, you understand that everybody is after the same thing. I wouldn't term it a competition just to be soft.
They all said it. It's a competition.
But everybody is after the same thing. So how do you balance that?
Maturity.
Yes.
Maturity. this is not our first competition. A lot of us have participated in pageants before, and we've been in different situations in life that challenges us. And this is just another situation where we really need to show how mature of women we are. And I believe that this is a strong group in maturity. I can speak for myself. I feel completely relaxed when I'm around these women and focused as well. So it's like the duality of it is interesting, and it pushes me to be a different person, because it's really hard. It's not easy, but I definitely look forward to spending this week with these ladies, because, like I said, the energy is just positive and amazing.
What do you think, and this is a question for any of you that would like to answer, what kind of skills have you gained by doing Miss Universe Belize for the past, I think it's over a month, right? Yeah. What skills do you think you have gained?
I believe that maybe not specifically gained skills, maybe we already had them, but we reinforced them. Definitely resilience.
Okay.
Because it's a process that challenges you. You go through a lot of challenges that you have to embrace, that you have to learn from, that you have to literally cry out, pick yourself back up and continue, because you have to, have your focus as well into what the goal is. So I definitely think that resilience is one of the things that you embrace in this process.
Yeah.
I think one of the things I've definitely gained is dependence. I think we've had the discussion where we're very independent persons. We want to do everything like by yourself, you know. But I found that for me personally, this is my first pageant. So I feel like I aimed really, really high, like at the beginning of it. And realizing where my areas of opportunities are, of whether it be training to walk, whether it be my fashion sense, whether it be answering questions, whether it be interactions with people, all those things on a day-to-day is like perfectly fine, but in pageantry it needs to be honed, it needs to be very specific. So meeting all these new people, I've had the opportunity to find where I need to make adjustments, the things that make me better, and at the end of the day it is an improvement for not only me but everybody that is experiencing me as well.
Quick note, I say marketing yourself like a business.
Yes.
It is such a great skill. We have to deal with sponsors, we have to market ourselves on social media and scheduling. So I believe that I can be a CEO right after the pageant.
It all comes with a cost, right?
Yes.
Everything you're investing in yourself, you're investing in the organization. Jasmine, why should people come out on Saturday? Why should people come out and watch you all
take the stage,
show off your skills? Why?
I don't want to say come out and watch me only, right? But you guys should come out. I feel like this is a strong set of girls. Any one of us can take it, and I believe that any one of us have the capability of standing on that international stage and representing Belize and even being placed. We need it, and we will make history. You guys come out, enjoy, and just look at the beauty.
Okay. All right. That does it. It is going to be happening at the Belize Civic Center on April 13th at 8 p.m. You don't want to miss it. I believe that you can purchase your tickets online. At the Smart Showrooms. I apologize. At the Smart Showroom. But we got to take a quick break. We'll be back for a wrap up. Don't go away.
Belizean. Of course, I will make sure the place clean, especially the places then where we treasure.
Iowa Belizean. Of course, I have a bag for my garbage in my car.
Iowa Belizean. Of course, I believe that all of we should do for we part to protect the environment.
Iowa Belizean. Of course, I teach my picnic from small enough to throw garbage on the ground.
Iowa Belizean. Of course, on and off the court. We unite as a team to keep Belize clean.
As Belizeans, let's trash the habit and not the beauty.
Prepare for the heat and stay cool with a Ream or Gree air conditioning unit from Benny's. Choose the right BTU unit size for your bedroom or living room and enjoy complete comfort. You can also save money with an inverter unit that is energy efficient. When the heat is on, stay cool and comfortable with an affordable, dependable AC unit from Ream or Gree. Available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
For 19 years, SMART has been the pulse of our nation. A journey of growth, innovation, resilience, and unity.
From the first call that bridged distances to the data that brought us closer than ever, SMART has been there, weaving threads of connection across our beautiful land.
We have been active in providing innovative solutions to enhance our customers' lifestyles. Over the years, SMART has developed and provided various services to meet customers' needs.
To the dreamers, doers, and the believers, thank you for making SMART a part of your story. For 19 years of trust, loyalty, partnership, and shared experiences.
As we celebrate 19 years of connecting lives and dreams, let's keep the rhythm alive. Together, let's continue to shape our future one connection at a time.
Come and be a part of the SMART family, where we empower you and our country today, tomorrow, and beyond.
SMART, bringing people together.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5 Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
And we are back, wrapping up our Monday morning show here on Open Your Eyes. We want to say a big thank you to all of our guests for coming in. We started our conversation with the National Women's Commission, and we ended our conversation with the Miss Universe Belize delegates for the Miss Universe Belize pageant
Great
that
transition.
is coming up this Saturday. Indeed, because you have
it's great transition.
it's a great transition. Sorry,
Yeah.
from the national gender policy into Miss Universe Belize, and all of their advocacies, of course, are in line with this national gender
Indeed.
policy. If you were reading between the lines correctly, so big thank you to them, and of course, a big thank you to you, our guests, because without you, this would not be possible. Today is April the 7th.
The 8th.
See, I don't forget. It's Eclipse Day for real. If you want to check out the eclipse, you can go outside. I think after 11, we might see about 40% of that eclipse. And if it is your birthday, happy birthday to you. If you have a birthday shout out or just a question or a comment, you can drop us a line right here at oye@channel5belize.com. You can also catch our live stream every day on Facebook at Open Your Eyes BZ, and check out our highlights on Instagram at OYE Belize. And of course, join us again on tomorrow when you open your eyes.
And start your morning right.
Be sure to keep your eyes, your minds,
and your hearts open.
We'll see you soon, Belize. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank, our country, your bank.